Hi there, you're watching Time Warner Cable's local edition, the Sacramento Report. I'm Jaime Garza, and I'm joined today by Betty Yee with the Board of Equalization. Always good to have you here, Betty.
Thank you, Jaime. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're talking today about something called a use tax. We know when we go to the store and we buy a product, we pay a sales tax.
Yes.
What's the difference between a sales tax and a use tax?
Very slight difference. The use tax is a companion to the sales tax, but the use tax is assessed when California consumers shop from retailers located outside of California. And the idea is that they're shopping for products that they're bringing into California for use. So it could be an electronic device that they're buying from an online retailer to bring into California for use. It could even be a Christmas gift that they're shopping from an out-of-state retailer to store in their closet until use during the holidays. But it is a companion to the sales tax, and it's to level the playing field between tax that is charged by physical locations of stores here in California and for online retailers who don't have a presence here in California.
When we're talking about budget problems here in the state of California, and we're talking about a potential tax, which I'm sorry,
Yes.
most consumers don't want to hear that.
Yes.
But how much money are we actually losing? What is the potential we could to help us out here in the state by this use tax that some of these people aren't paying?
Sure. The use tax is current law. It's been current law since the mid-1930s, and the consumers who are responsible for paying it, we are losing about $1.2 billion every year with use tax not being paid by consumers, and that's enough really to fund and restore the cuts that have been made to both the University of California and the California State University system in the proposed budget.
And when you put it that way, do you think you could get more support from consumers?
I think it's a way to let consumers know that they can be part of the budget solution if they're responsible and are aware of what their obligations are in paying this tax and reporting it. It's not well known that we have this tax law on the books, but the more that we are able to educate consumers, they realize that with the over $1 billion that's owed to the state, it could really make a difference in terms of the services we can provide.
And again, that word use tax, and I think most folks at home have heard that recently because Amazon.com has been in the news talking about implementing this use tax, that when you purchase something through this particular website, you don't pay California tax.
Right. Amazon.com is probably the largest e-retailer that has no physical presence in California, and they have been the subject of legislation that's currently pending to essentially put the collection obligation on the e-retailer so that the individual consumer does not have to worry about it. When an individual consumer, if I were to go to Amazon to purchase a book, Amazon would then collect and assess the tax from me and then pay it over to the state of California on my behalf.
There's a lot of talk that Amazon claims that it won't do business in California if, in fact, this use tax is implemented, especially against this particular company. Are you worried about that? Because that's a lot of money that can be generated for the state.
It's a lot of money, but Amazon, I think, is aware that its largest market share is California consumers here in our state, and their relationship even with the small businesses that do business on their internet platform. I know that many of the large retailers that are located here in California are interested in taking up that relationship with small businesses to be sure that they continue to be successful and thrive here in California.
Finally, when we talk about something like this on the consumer side, paying this use tax, do you think it feels less of a burden on a consumer than, let's say, putting in some other types of taxes?
I think the use tax, because it's current law right now, the biggest hurdle is how we collect it and report it and pay it to the state. When we can't have an individual enforcement program going after individual consumers, but certainly for the e-retailers like Amazon, they're in a good position to assess that tax, collect it, and pay it on behalf of the consumer. So that is really, we know that when the retailer has that responsibility, the taxes get paid.
And we all benefit then because we know we're in dire need of financial help.
Absolutely.
Betty Yee, thank you so much and best of luck on this use tax.
Thank you, Jaime.
And thank you at home for watching Time Warner Cable's local edition, the Sacramento Report. Always remember you can watch this interview as well as others just by going to My Government On Demand. You'll find that on Channel 1. And now you can also find us on YouTube.